né? Todo mundo fala de cinturão interino, alguém pra lutar e tal, mas, gente, não existe, eu só luto pelo cinturão mesmo. Se o UFC tirar o cinturão agora e botar alguém pra lutar, eu luto, mas cinturão interino não existe isso, não existe eu lutar com outro oponente agora, do nada não existe nada disso. Então, esperar pra ver se Kayla vai voltar ou não, ver o que vai acontecer, mas uma coisa é certa, eu tô bem, tô treinando pra caramba, tô motivada, tô forte e, 37 anos, a chama tá viva, a leoa continua na selva, tô pronta pra pegar meu cinturão de volta, seja quem for.
UFC legend Amanda Nunes has just dropped a massive bombshell message, and trust me, this changes everything for the women's bantamweight division. Just days after Kayla Harrison underwent emergency neck surgery, forcing the cancellation of their highly anticipated UFC 324 showdown, the Lioness has broken her silence, and she's making one thing crystal clear. She's not interested in any shortcuts to championship glory.
What's the next thing you want?
The next thing is in the news.
Yes.
I'm gonna hear once again. It's not crazy.
Yeah.
If you guys think about that, honest, I'm gonna get my belt back, and you're gonna interview me again, and I'm gonna tell you. Remember, I told you I'm gonna get my belt back. So I'm here to do that.
All right, let's start from the beginning. Just 10 days before what was supposed to be Kayla Harrison's very first title defense, disaster struck. The current women's bantamweight champion was forced to withdraw from her co-main event clash against Amanda Nunes at UFC 324. The reason? A herniated disc in her neck that was so severe she had to be immediately flown to New York for emergency surgery. Now, imagine this from Amanda Nunes' perspective. The 37-year-old legend came out of retirement specifically for this fight. She put together what she called one of the best training camps of her entire career. And we're talking about someone who's dominated 2 divisions for years. In her first statement since the cancellation, Nunes opened up about how devastating this news was. The news about Kayla going through surgery and everything made me sad because I prepared myself a lot. My training camp was perfect. I was prepared physically, mentally, and spiritually, so it's hard not to get sad with all of that.
Com essa notícia, né, da Kayla tendo que fazer essa cirurgia e tal. Um pouco triste, né, porque fiz toda uma preparação. Poxa, o camp foi perfeito, tava muito preparada fisicamente, mentalmente, espiritualmente. Então, a gente fica assim, né, triste com tudo isso, mas vai fazer o quê, né? Fugiu do controle, então agora é esperar ver o que o UFC vai fazer, né? Todo mundo fala de cinturão interino, alguém pra lutar e tal, mas...
You can hear the disappointment in her words, but here's the thing about Amanda Nunes. She's a true professional. She immediately added, but what can we do, right? That's not under our control. Now we just wait and see what the UFC is going to do.
Não existe, eu só luto pelo cinturão mesmo. Se o UFC tirar o cinturão agora e botar alguém pra lutar, eu luto, mas cinturão interino não existe isso, não existe eu lutar com outro oponente agora, do nada não existe nada disso.
But the big question everyone was asking was, would Nunes take a different fight? Would she accept an interim title? Would she wait for Harrison? And that's where things get really interesting. Here's where Amanda Nunes dropped the hammer. Immediately after the cancellation, rumors started flying everywhere. Fans and analysts were suggesting an interim title fight, maybe a trilogy with Valentina Shevchenko. Or what about Juliana Pena, who reportedly wanted another shot at Nunes to settle their 1-1 rivalry?
Winner and new bantamweight champion of the world, Kayla Harrison. Enjoy it. You deserve it. It is yours, and I can't wait to see you defend your crown.
Amanda! I see you, Amanda! Come on up, Amanda! Come on! Come on! This is the next fight!
Even Norma Dumont volunteered to step in for Harrison at UFC 324, but Nunes shut down all of it with one clear, powerful message. Listen to this. People are talking about an interim belt or fighting someone else, but guys, that's not happening. I only fight for the real belt. If the UFC vacates the belt and finds an opponent, then I fight, but no interim belt for me.
É esperar pra ver se Kayla vai voltar ou não, ver o que vai acontecer. Mas uma coisa é certa, eu tô bem, tô treinando pra caramba, tô motivada, tô forte. E, pô, 37 anos, cheio, pô, a chama tá viva, a leoa continua na selva. Tô pronta pra pegar meu cinturão de volta, seja quem for.
Did you catch that? No interim belt. She continued, I also don't want to fight another opponent now. That's not an option, so let's see if we wait for Kayla or not and see what's going to happen. But one thing is for sure. I feel good, I'm training a lot, I'm strong, motivated, and I'm 37 years old with a lot of energy. I'm ready to get my belt back.
What does the fight after the title fight look like? Do we have 3 fights after that, or is it just the title fight and gone again?
Actually, I'm ready to stay here, you know? So we're gonna take the belt back. I'm gonna defend as long as possible. As long as my body can handle, I'm gonna be here.
Okay.
So.
In another interview, Nunes went even further, saying, the interim title is too small for everything I represent in women's MMA. Wow, that's a statement right there. Think about this. Amanda Nunes is a former 2-division champion. She's beaten every big name in women's MMA. She's in the GOAT conversation for a reason. And she's making it clear, she's not coming back for anything less than the real undisputed championship. This is about legacy. This is about respect. And Nunes is demanding both. Now, let's talk about just how serious Kayla Harrison's injury actually was, because this will blow your mind. After Harrison withdrew from the fight, she posted an emotional video from her hospital bed apologizing to fans and to Amanda Nunes for having to cancel the fight. But her manager, Ali Abdelaziz, revealed details that are absolutely frightening. Listen to what he told Submission Radio. She couldn't lift her arm. She literally went and got an injection, a whole bunch of medicine, anti-inflammatory. Nothing worked. The UFC flew her to New York, and the doctor said immediately she needs surgery because if she doesn't get surgery, this can paralyze her.
Kayla's the most tested athlete in UFC history. She's been in WADA with the Olympics for 15 years. WADA, UFC program. There's nobody got tested more. And anyone who claimed doesn't, I'm sorry if you don't have this kind of physique or muscle or strong. This is God. You should talk to God about this. But you accuse someone of something who got more tested than you. I have no problem with Juliana. She's cool. But the more she talks, more punishment she will get. I promise you. Kayla is a very petty human being. She's very petty.
According to UFC CEO Dana White, the promotion plans to rebook the Nunes versus Harrison fight sometime in 2025. But here's the catch. Nobody knows exactly when Kayla will be cleared to return.
You know, now that she's come in the UFC and she's actually won the belt and fought her way up. And, you know, Amanda, people respect what Amanda did here. So I agree with you. It felt big. It was a badass stint. It was all organic. None of that was fake. We had no intentions of her going up into the octagon. I actually had to tell the guys to let her up. They weren't even letting her in. So yes.
Neck surgeries are serious business. Recovery can take months, and there's always the question of whether a fighter will be the same after such a major procedure. Amanda Nunes herself addressed this concern. She said, "A year is too much. Even the UFC doesn't want her recovery to last that long. I know that injury and surgery are complicated things to come back from, but I hope she can, because I depend on her. I want her to recover well, because I'm waiting for her."
Is just, for me, she's the GOAT. Like, she can put her in front of anyone, and her distance control, the way she fights, her strategy when she's in there, it just is above anybody else's. Like, she adapts so quick to someone's style. So I feel like I should never really have kind of swayed a little bit.
Particular. That was a big deal, like the hard launch. You know what the hard launch is? Kids call...
Ariel, we're not on Love Island. Next question.
I mean, you guys showed up on the broadcast. It was just like, it wasn't...
Next question.
Okay, I'm just saying it was big news. I thought it was a lot of people were excited about it.
Of course, excited. Some people upset, you know.
No, who would be upset?
Ariel, I'm a fighter. I don't want to talk about that.
Okay, I mean, it was on a PFL broadcast, right? I think that.
That's not my choice.
Okay, you didn't see the camera in front of you.
I'm on all the PFL broadcasts. They put me everywhere.
Dakota Ditcheva, the undefeated PFL sensation, has just dropped a massive bombshell about UFC champion Valentina Shevchenko's fighting style. And trust me, this is not what fans expected to hear from someone who's called Shevchenko her idol for years. Ditcheva's brutally honest comments, her injury setback, the fantasy super fight that might never happen, and Valentina's potential Twitter response to all of this drama. Let's get into it. Dakota acknowledged everything Shevchenko has accomplished, saying she wants to go out on top. Like, has anyone really done what she's done? She's completed all the rubies on her belt, plus more. She's at the top, but the age she's at and the way she's fighting at the moment, it's incredible anyway.
Maybe a little bit, yeah, but I mean, she wants to go out on top. Like, has anyone really done what she's done? She's completed all the rubies on her belt, plus more. Like, she's at the top. The age of her and the way she's kind of fighting at the moment is just incredible anyway, but...
First, let's talk about the unfortunate news that has fight fans disappointed. Dakota Dangerous Ditcheva was scheduled to face Denise Kielholtz on February 7th at PFL's highly anticipated return to Dubai at the Coca-Cola Arena. But here's the kicker. The 27-year-old British phenom has been forced to withdraw from the bout due to a broken hand. This is a devastating blow for fans who were eagerly waiting to see the undefeated champion back in action.
Very difficult to put away.
That'll do it! Dakota Ditcheva with the third round finish!
What a finish, beautiful work. Hard shot to the body, she's still hurt. Still can't breathe.
Listen to what Dakota told Ariel Helwani. Maybe a little bit, yeah, but she wants to go out on top. When there's money on the line, people change. For me, I hope one day I don't do that.
I suppose people want that, like, killer in them, don't they? They don't want people to lose it, but when there's money on the line, people change. I mean, for me, I hope one day I don't do that. I feel like the switch in me that I have probably would never kind of just play it safe. I would just always be that person that kind of goes forward. But then again, when you're someone like Valentina and you've got that much of a legacy, she doesn't want to go out without being on top, right? So
if you remember, Ditcheva last fought in July 2025, defeating Sumiko Inaba by unanimous decision. After that fight, Dakota made it crystal clear she wanted to stay as active as possible. She even expressed frustration with the PFL for failing to find another opponent later in 2025.
Against the fence with body shots.
Combination again, punching her way out of these clinches.
Inaba not able to match speed on the outside.
Crashing in again.
Oh, beautiful knee.
Oh, the clinch is really working for Ditcheva. She gets the turn, and the knee finds its way to the face of Sumiko Inaba, and an elbow from Dakota.
Inaba can't take a lot of those knees.
And just when it seemed like she'd get back in the cage in February, this injury happened. It's a tough break, literally, for one of MMA's most exciting rising stars. But the real story here isn't just the injury. It's what Dakota had to say about the woman she's idolized for years. But here's the reality check Dakota gave us. Sometimes I do think about it. Yeah, I would love to have had that matchup. I really would. But you look at the other fights and people would be like, oh, Valentina was past it. She's been in it for years. And then if I was to lose, they'd be like, oh, she wasn't ready. There was too much hype.
Sometimes I do, yeah. I would love to have had that matchup. I really would. But like, you look at all the other fights and people would be like, oh, Valentina's past it. She's been, you know, in it for years and this, that and the other. And then if I were to have lose, people would say, oh, she wasn't ready. She was too much hype. Like, I feel like people want the fight, but there would be so many excuses on both sides to like who would end up winning. It's like, whatever.
For context, Valentina Bullet Shevchenko is the current UFC Women's Flyweight Champion and is widely regarded as one of the greatest female fighters of all time. She's a two-time champion with 9 successful title defenses overall. Absolutely legendary resume. But here's the problem. Bullet has been catching some serious heat from fans lately. Why? Because she hasn't scored a finish since 2021. That's right, 4 years without a finish. Her last 3 fights against Manon Fiorot, Zhang Weili, and her trilogy with Alexa Grasso have all gone to decision. Fans have been saying her style has become boring, that she's playing it too safe. And now Dakota Ditcheva, someone who has repeatedly called Shevchenko her idol, has basically agreed with the critics. Whoa, did you catch that? I hope one day I don't do that. That's a massive statement. Dakota is essentially saying that Shevchenko has lost that killer instinct, that she's playing it safe for the payday. And more importantly, Dakota is promising fans that she'll never become like that.
Okay, you've got to get busy here. You've got to show me something.
And if you look at Ditcheva's record, she's backing up those words. She's 15-0 with 12 knockouts. She's been absolutely destroying opponents. She knocked out Taila Santos, the same Santos who gave Shevchenko one of her toughest fights, with brutal body punches in the second round to become PFL champion. Now, before you think Dakota is completely disrespecting her idol, let's be fair here. She did follow up those comments with some important context. So Dakota is giving Shevchenko her flowers. She recognizes the legendary status, the incredible achievements, and the fact that at 36 years old, Valentina is still dominating her division. She's just pointing out what everyone else is thinking. The finishes have dried up. And here's the thing, Dakota makes a valid point. When you're at the top, when you've accomplished everything, and when you're getting older, maybe the risk-reward calculation changes. Why risk everything for a flashy finish when you can cruise to a decision and keep your belt? But fans don't want to see that. They want to see the killer who knocked out Jessica I with that devastating head kick in 2019. They want to see the Valentina who submitted Priscilla Cachoeira, and Dakota is promising she'll give fans that excitement for her entire career. This brings us to the fantasy matchup that MMA fans desperately want to see, but probably never will. Dakota Ditcheva versus Valentina Shevchenko.
The planet right now, fantastic strikers, veterans, future legends of the game here.
For sure. Santos is in big trouble. She's in big trouble. Dakota Ditcheva to the body again for a championship.
Both fighters are in the flyweight division. Dakota is the undefeated PFL champion. Valentina is the UFC champion. On paper, this would be an incredible super fight. The young, hungry knockout artist versus the crafty veteran champion. Dakota is absolutely right here. It's a no-win situation for both fighters. If Dakota wins, people will say Valentina was past her prime. If Valentina wins, people will say Dakota wasn't ready and was overhyped. Plus, there is the promotional politics. Dakota just signed a new deal with PFL, and she's happy there. Valentina is locked into the UFC, and as Dakota pointed out, she doesn't see the UFC and PFL merging anytime soon. So at this point, with Shevchenko at the tail end of her career, and Ditcheva just getting started, this super fight is probably just going to live in our imaginations, which is honestly a shame because it would be fireworks. Now, as of recording this video, Valentina Shevchenko hasn't publicly responded to Dakota's comments, but knowing Bullet's track record, we could definitely see a Twitter response coming soon. Or maybe Valentina takes the high road and simply acknowledges Dakota's talent without addressing the criticism. Either way, this story has all the ingredients for some serious social media drama.
She was trying to pull guard and accept the takedown, and then she stopped doing that, and then Valentina made the adjustment. Now it's a terrible position. This easily could be the end of the fight here, and it may very well be.
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
And still the best in the world by a mile, Valentina Shevchenko.
What a dominant performance. And this leaves us in. One of those big improvements was making that move to 125.
Tonight's Prep Point brought to you by Crypto.com, the fastest growing crypto platform in the world. Download now.
Her boxing is outstanding, her timing is excellent, and she's adding submissions to her game now.
Absolutely. She is this very reserved, quiet person outside the octagon, but the moment those octagon door closes, she is an absolute savage. Tremendous striking, much improved jiu-jitsu, and a mentality now.
This UFC champion, Alexa Grasso, is one of the most feared women in combat sports today. The former flyweight champion has built her reputation on precision striking, championship experience, and an unshakable composure that has carried her through wars with the world's best fighters.
Yeah, no, that was Alexa Grasso.
Oh, hard right hand by Grasso. Escobar backpedaling for the first time. Grasso punching up some punches. It's all over her left hand. Grasso moving.
But now, Alexa Grasso has sent a massive bombshell message to rising star Dakota Ditcheva, and Dakota has fired back with a response that has the MMA world buzzing. Is a super fight between these two elite strikers on the horizon? Let's break down what was said and what it means for women's MMA. In a recent interview, Alexa Grasso addressed Dakota Ditcheva directly, and her words carried a mix of respect and subtle challenge. Here's exactly what the UFC champion said. Well, I think she has one of the best buddies in MMA, and I really wanted to have one like that. I'm still working on that, but it's amazing, you know, because she's a veteran and I saw her fights. When I didn't fight in a big time, I was like, wow, those girls are amazing. And now to fight, I'm fighting with her. It's a pleasure and it's really a blessing for me.
Well, I think she has one of the best bodies in the MMA, and I really wanted to have one like that. I'm still working on that, but it's amazing, you know, because she's a veteran, and I saw her fights, and I was when I didn't fight in a big time, I was like, whoa, those girls are amazing, and now I'm fighting with her. It's a pleasure, and it's really a blessing for me.
Now, at first glance, this might seem like pure respect from Grasso, and to some degree it is. But if you read between the lines, there's something else happening here. Grasso is acknowledging Dakota's talent while simultaneously positioning herself as the seasoned veteran, the one with championship experience, the one who has already conquered the biggest stage in MMA. It's a subtle psychological play. Grasso is saying, I respect you, but I've been where you're trying to go, and I know what it takes. That's the mindset of a champion who has fought killers like Valentina Shevchenko, and it's a reminder that Dakota, despite her dominance, hasn't faced that level of competition yet. Dakota Ditcheva didn't back down. In fact, her response showed exactly why she's considered one of the most dangerous rising stars in women's MMA. Here's what she said. People see that when I win this season now. And you know, say I beat someone like Liz Carmouche and Talia Santos. As soon as I've beat them, I think what else can people expect other than greatness for the rest of the year? And you've got to be like that, you know. And it's about time that I actually believe in what I can do.
When I win this season now, and you know, say I beat someone like Liz Carmouche and Talia Santos, as soon as I've beat them, I think what else can people expect other than greatness for the rest of the year? Yeah, right. Yeah, and you've got to be like that, you know. And it's about time that I actually believe in what.
She continued. People say to me, "Oh, she's not fought this person. She's not fought that person." Well, or they say to me, "She's running through all these girls because they're not very good." But if you put these girls against other people, they have close fights, whereas when you put them with me, I finish them early. So I make it look easy sometimes.
people say to me, you know, oh, she's not fought this person, she's not fought that person. Well, or they say to me, you know, she's running through all these girls because they're not very good. But if you put these girls against other people, they have close fights. Whereas when you put them with me, I finish them early, so I make it look easy sometimes.
This is confidence at its peak. Dakota isn't just defending her record. She's making a case that her dominance isn't about facing weak competition. It's about her skill level being so far ahead that she makes elite fighters look ordinary. That's a bold claim, but when you look at her finishing rate and the way she's demolished opponents, it's hard to argue. Dakota is essentially saying, I don't just beat these fighters, I finish them in ways others can't. And that's the calling card of a future champion. But Dakota wasn't done. She took to Twitter to send another message, and this one had the MMA community fired up. While the exact tweet wasn't disclosed in detail, the implication was clear. Dakota Ditcheva is ready for anyone, including Alexa Grasso.
The planet right now, fantastic strikers, veterans, future legends of the game here.
For sure. Santos is in big trouble. She's in big trouble. Dakota Ditcheva to the body again for a championship.
This is the new generation making their presence known. Dakota has the Muay Thai pedigree, the finishing ability, and the hunger of someone who knows they're destined for greatness. She's not waiting for permission to call out champions. She's stating her case and daring the best to step up. And here's the thing, Dakota has earned the right to talk like this. She's undefeated in her professional MMA career. She's finished nearly every opponent she's faced, and she's doing it with a style that's both beautiful and brutal. Her striking is elite, her clinch work is devastating, and her confidence is sky high.
You know, the damage so far in this fight, it's been one-way trap.
Oh, nasty knee off the middle from Dakota. And a flurry down to the body. Here's the elbow. Back elbow. And now a left hand. And she's showing off now.
So what happens if these two actually fight? Let's break down the stylistic matchup. Dakota Ditcheva brings youth, speed, and explosive finishing power. She's long for her division, incredibly rangy, and uses her reach better than almost anyone. Her Muay Thai background makes her deadly in the clinch, and her ability to land elbows, knees, and kicks from unusual angles gives her an unpredictability that's hard to prepare for. Dakota overwhelms opponents with pressure and volume, and she rarely lets fights go the distance. Alexa Grasso, on the other hand, brings championship experience and technical perfection. Her boxing is textbook, her footwork is clean, and she has the kind of composure that only comes from fighting the absolute best in the world. Grasso doesn't rely on power. She breaks opponents down piece by piece with combinations, timing, and smart defense. And as she showed against Valentina Shevchenko, she can adapt mid-fight and find ways to win even when things aren't going her way. The key question is this: can Dakota's speed and aggression overwhelm Alexa before Grasso's experience and composure take over? If this fight happens early in Dakota's UFC career, Alexa might have the edge. But if Dakota gets a few more years of elite-level experience, this becomes a true toss-up.
Have you seen that really pretty girl that fights in the PFL? What's her name? Dakota Dicheva. She's from England, but she is like, most of her fights win by knockout. She's this Muay Thai specialist, but she's pretty. And
Sounds
she just
awesome.
Fucks these girls up.
That's it.
Fucks these girls up.
Joe Rogan, the legendary UFC commentator and combat sports expert, was left absolutely stunned after watching Dakota Dicheva's brutal knockouts. We're talking about a fighter with a perfect record who's dismantling opponents left and right, and Rogan couldn't contain his amazement. But here's where it gets really interesting. Rogan emphasized that Dicheva represents something bigger than just fighting. He said, and I quote, "She's gorgeous. She looks like a model. It has nothing to do with men beating each other up. It has nothing to do with brutishness. It has to do with high-level problem solving with dire physical consequences."
Against defense with body shots.
Combination again, punching her way out of these clinches.
Naba not able to match speed on the outside.
Crashing in again. Oh, beautiful knee. Out of the clinch is really working for Dicheva. She gets the turn, another knee finds its way to the face of Sumiko Naba, and an elbow from Dakota.
Naba can't take a lot of those knees.
Joe Rogan's shocking reaction to Dakota Dicheva's savage performances inside the cage. This British knockout machine has been putting people to sleep with devastating strikes, and when Rogan saw her work, he was blown away. We're talking about a perfect 15-0 record with 12 brutal knockouts that have the entire MMA world buzzing. So hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's dive into why Joe Rogan is so hyped about this unstoppable force named Dakota Dicheva.
We live in a day and age where, women want to be equal. And believe me when I tell you, women have proved that they are equal. People love the women's fights, and they're so tactical and they're so good. It's just, I didn't see it coming. These women are unbelievable. They're very technical and very good.
And from the numbers that the audience responds?
No, the audience doesn't respond. The audience loves it. These women become big stars.
Joe Rogan has seen it all in combat sports. From the rise of Ronda Rousey to the dominance of Amanda Nunes, he's witnessed every era of women's MMA. But his recent comments about Dakota Dicheva? They hit differently. On his platform, Rogan didn't just praise Dicheva, he called her terrifying. And coming from someone who's watched thousands of fights, that word carries weight. He specifically highlighted her mindset, calling her a great example of what high-level MMA should look like.
The PFL is going to get people to pay attention. If the UFC went away, the PFL would probably take up the slack. I'm a fan of the best fighters in the world getting together. And whatever we have to do to facilitate that, that's what I want to see happen. There's one who's really interesting. She's terrifying. Her mindset, she's a great example. She's a gorgeous woman. She looks like a model. It has nothing to do with men beating each other up. It has nothing to do with brutishness. It has to do with high-level problem solving with dire physical consequences.
That's not just praise. That's Rogan acknowledging that Dicheva is changing the narrative around women's MMA entirely. She's proving that you can be feminine, beautiful, and one of the most dangerous fighters on the planet.
The planet right now. Fantastic strikers, veterans, future legends of the game here.
For sure. Santos is in big trouble. She's in big trouble. Dakota Dicheva to the body again for a championship.
So who exactly is this fighter that has Joe Rogan so impressed? Let me break it down for you. Dakota Dicheva was born on July 25th, 1998, in Sale, Greater Manchester, England. But combat sports isn't just something she chose. It's in her blood. Her mother, Lisa Howarth, is a multiple-time world kickboxing champion. Her father, Ivo Dichev, is Bulgarian. Dakota grew up literally surrounded by martial arts, training in kickboxing, Muay Thai, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from a young age. Before she ever stepped into an MMA cage, Dakota was already a champion. In 2016, at just 17 years old, she won gold at the IFMA World Muay Thai Championships in Sweden. She's a 3-time world champion in the junior divisions